We're going to discuss this with Khalil Jahshan. He's the Executive Director of the Arab Center, Washington, D.C. Thanks for joining us on this news hour. As we heard in that report, many of these settlements are considered illegal under international law. But what action is anyone really taking against Israel? They do seem to act with impunity on many occasions.
Clearly, that has been the case actually since the occupation of these territories, whether they be the West Bank and Gaza for the Palestinians and the Golan Heights for Syria. The international community, even though it has condemned through the UN General Assembly and the UN Security Council, specifically with regards to the Golan, we have two resolutions, 242. 497, one that declares the first one, 242, the inadmissibility of territory by force, and the second one condemned the Israeli unilateral action in 1981 of basically annexing, for all practical purposes, the Golan. Yet Israel has not been confronted or punished with regards to this continued expansion of settlements, which seems to me to be kind of the oxygen that keeps the Zionist enterprise in Palestine, and in this case in Syria and in southern Lebanon going on.
And how much of that is fueled by the U.S.? Israel was, of course, heavily backed by the Trump administration, them actually recognizing sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Not so much, though, maybe with the Biden administration or even the Obama one before that.
U.S. policy with regards to settlements is somewhat schizophrenic. On the one hand, we have maintained a policy that the West Bank and Gaza and the Golan are occupied territories, and that nothing that has been done unilaterally changes the legal status of these territories. Yet at the same time, ignoring the issue and not confronting Israel about it, except in few moments of enthusiasm here and there since 1967, has emboldened the Israelis to proceed forward. And that's the background for Mr. Bennett's statement yesterday and the day before, announcing this expansion on the Golan Heights. So the U.S. policy has not been as enforced, if you will, or as enforceable as it should have been. It doesn't match the rhetoric that we hear from the administration, particularly this one that negates, if you will, the previous decision by the Trump administration to recognize Israeli sovereignty over the Golan. Yet nothing is being done to stop Israel from continuing this process.
Mm-hmm. And Khalil, what does all of this mean for the Palestinian people who've been fighting for their rights, for their land? How big a setback is this to their cause?
Well, the rational international argument has always been that the exchange of land for peace is the only option for peace in the region. Yet, if you take the land formula or half of the formula out of that equation, then there is no peace left. That applies to the West Bank and Gaza with regards to the Palestinians. There is very little left in the West Bank to justify, if you will, or to allow for a Palestinian sovereign state to emerge in those territories, even if the international will changes and decides to support genuine peace in the region. With regards to the Golan, the argument by the Israelis, even though it used to be on strategic military basis back in the 40s and 50s, now it's on the basis of the existence of an authoritarian government in Damascus. With all due respect, if we are to remove all authoritarian governments in the region, then Israel borders might reach Turkey at this stage.
Khalil Jahshan, it's great to get your thoughts. Thank you so much.